The tremor began not with the earth, but within my own hand, a violent, uncontrollable shake as I held the worn, leather-bound journal. It wasn't the weight of years, nor the fragility of the paper, but the words, penned in my own mother's elegant, looping script that vibrated through me. To my dearest Anya, it began, I have kept a secret, a truth that has burned within me, a love that transcends the bonds we understand. Your father, he was not the man you knew. The world blurred, the familiar scent of aged parchment turning acrid like burnt sugar. My father, the stoic, dependable man who taught me to ride a bike, who'd built me a treehouse that scraped the sky, was not who I thought. The journal detailed a clandestine affair, a passionate, consuming love with a man named Elias, a man I'd never met. It spoke of stolen moments, of whispered promises, of a love that bloomed in the shadows. The revelation wasn't just the affair itself, but the sheer impossibility of it within the context of my childhood, a childhood built on the foundation of what I believed was unwavering, traditional love. But then a name that echoed in my memory, a name I dismissed as a distant, almost mythical relative, Elias. He was the man with the gentle eyes, the man who visited every summer, the man who always brought me hand-carved wooden animals. But here's the twist, a twist that shattered the calm of my carefully constructed reality. Elias wasn't just a friend or a cousin. He was my father's lover, and as the final entry revealed, he was also dying. Not just dying, but that my mother had kept in touch with him for my sake, and that he had a final letter for me, a letter that was hidden within the very treehouse my father had built. The treehouse, now a weathered monument to a past I didn't understand, held a secret that could rewrite everything. The secret that the treehouse was not built for me, but was a meeting place for my father and Elias, a secret hideout for their forbidden love. In the final twist, the letter was not just a letter, but a key. A key to what I didn't know, but the tremor in my hand intensified, a frantic pulse against the quiet hum of the house, a house that now felt alien, a stage set for a play I'd never rehearsed. The key, cool and heavy in my palm, mirrored the sudden chill that settled over me. It wasn't just metal, it was a tangible piece of a puzzle I hadn't known existed, a puzzle that reshaped the landscape of my memories. The treehouse, once a symbol of childhood innocence, now loomed as a silent witness to a love story hidden in plain sight. I climbed, each creak of the weathered planks a stark reminder of the secrets held within. The air inside was thick with the scent of old wood and forgotten summers, a nostalgic aroma now tainted with a sense of betrayal and longing. I found the hidden compartment, a small, expertly concealed drawer beneath a loose floorboard. Inside, a faded cream-colored envelope addressed to my dearest Anya, in a handwriting that was both familiar and foreign. It was Elias. His words, penned with a tenderness that made my heart ache, spoke of a love that defied societal norms, a love that endured despite the constraints of their time. He described my father not as the stoic patriarch I knew, but as a man of fierce passion, a man whose love for him was a force of nature. He spoke of their shared dreams, their stolen moments, their quiet rebellion against a world that wouldn't understand. But then another twist. He revealed that their love wasn't just a clandestine affair, it was the foundation of my existence. He explained that my father, unable to bear the thought of a life without him, had made a choice that involved my mother, a woman of extraordinary compassion. My mother, who knew of their love, had agreed to carry their child, a child conceived not in the traditional sense, but through a medical procedure, a secret pact born of love and desperation. I was the product of their love, a living testament to their forbidden union. My existence, the very fabric of my being, was woven from their shared love. The shock was a physical blow, a wave of nausea that threatened to overwhelm me, but there was more. Elias' letter also held a map, a crudely drawn map that pointed to a location, a remote cabin nestled deep in the mountains, a place he called our sanctuary. He wrote that it held the rest of their story, a story he wanted me to know, a story that would explain everything. And the final, most unsettling twist. He mentioned a second key hidden somewhere within the cabin, a key that unlocked not a physical door, but a truth about myself, a truth that would change everything I thought I knew about my identity. The journey to the cabin was a blur, a frantic drive fueled by a desperate need for answers. The mountains, once a backdrop to family vacations, now loomed with an ominous silence, their peaks shrouded in a mist that seemed to mirror the confusion swirling within me. The cabin, nestled in a secluded valley, was a relic of a bygone era, its weathered wooden walls whispering tales of a love that had weathered the storms of societal judgment. The air was thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, a primal aroma that spoke of solitude and hidden passions. Inside the cabin was a time capsule, a preserved fragment of their shared life. Faded photographs, handwritten poems, and worn leather-bound books filled the shelves, each object a testament to their enduring love. I found the second key, hidden within a hollowed-out book of Walt Whitman's poetry, a symbol of their shared love for the unconventional. It was smaller, more ornate than the first, and it felt warm to the touch, almost alive. It unlocked a hidden compartment beneath the floorboards, revealing a collection of audio recordings. Their voices, my father's deep and resonant, Elia's soft and melodic, filled the small room, their words weaving a tapestry of love, loss, and acceptance. They spoke of their struggles, their fears, and their unwavering belief in their love. They spoke of me, their child, conceived in love, born of hope. But then a chilling revelation. They weren't alone. They had allies, a small, clandestine group of individuals who understood their love, who helped them navigate a world that sought to erase them. These allies, they called themselves the Weavers, and they were dedicated to protecting love in all its forms. And here is where it became more twisted. The Weavers were not just a support group. They were a network, a powerful organization that had influenced events, manipulated situations, and even protected secrets for generations, all in the name of love. My parents, their love was not just a personal story, but a thread in a much larger, more intricate tapestry. And the final, most unsettling twist, they revealed that I was not just their child, but a chosen one, a descendant of a long line of individuals born of unconventional love, destined to carry on their legacy. The second key was not just a key, but a symbol of my initiation into this hidden world, a world where love was not just accepted, but revered, a world I was now a part of. And the audio recordings contained instructions, a series of coded messages that would guide me to my next step, my next mission. A mission to protect love, to continue their work, to become a weaver. The coded messages, a series of seemingly random numbers and phrases, were a puzzle box, a challenge designed to test my understanding of their world. I spent days deciphering them, the cabin becoming my sanctuary, the voices of my fathers my constant companions. The messages led me to a hidden network of online forums, encrypted chat rooms, and clandestine meetings, a world where love was a secret language, a code understood only by those who dared to defy convention. I met others like me, children of unconventional love, each with their own unique story, their own battles fought in the name of acceptance. We were a diverse group bound by a shared understanding, a collective resilience forged in the fires of societal judgment. We were the inheritors of a legacy, the guardians of a love that refused to be silenced. The Weavers, I learned, were not just a support group, they were a force, a silent army fighting for a world where love was not defined by boundaries or labels. They had infiltrated institutions, influenced policy, and protected individuals from persecution, all while operating in the shadows. They were the architects of a quiet revolution, a revolution built on the foundation of love. And then another twist, a dangerous one. I discovered that there were those who opposed the Weavers, a shadowy organization known as the Purifiers, who sought to erase all forms of unconventional love to restore what they believed was the natural order. They saw us as a threat, a contagion that needed to be eradicated. They were powerful, influential, and they were watching us. They knew about me, about my connection to my fathers, about my role as a descendant of their legacy. And the final, most unsettling twist, they had infiltrated the Weavers, placing spies within our ranks, feeding us misinformation and manipulating our movements. I was no longer just a descendant, I was a target. The second key I realized was not just a symbol of initiation, it was a beacon, a signal that had alerted the Purifiers to my existence. The coded messages were not just instructions, they were a trap, a carefully laid plan to lure me into their grasp. The cabin, my sanctuary, was now a potential prison, a place where I was vulnerable, exposed. The voices of my fathers, once a source of comfort, now echoed with a sense of urgency, a warning that I needed to act, to fight, to protect the love that had given me life. The realization that I was a pawn in a larger game, a game with stakes far higher than I could have ever imagined, ignited a fire within me. Fear transformed into a fierce determination, a resolve to protect the legacy of my fathers, to fight for a world where love was not a crime. I embraced my role as a weaver, learning their techniques, mastering their codes, and honing my skills in their clandestine art. The online forums became my battleground, the encrypted chat rooms my command center, and the clandestine meetings my strategy sessions. We were a resistance, a network of individuals united by love, fighting for our right to exist. I discovered that the Purifiers were not just a shadowy organization, They were a powerful force, deeply embedded within society, pulling the strings of governments and manipulating public opinion. They used fear and prejudice as weapons, painting us as deviants, as threats to the fabric of society. They sought to erase our stories, to rewrite history, to extinguish the flame of unconventional love. But we refused to be silenced. We used their own tactics against them, infiltrating their ranks, exposing their lies, and revealing their true agenda. We used the power of love to dismantle their walls of hate. The second key, which I thought was a beacon, was in actuality a failsafe, a tracker that also sent information about the purifiers back to the weavers. The coded messages were a test, a way to see if I was worthy, if I could handle the truth. The twist, the final, shattering twist, was not that I was a descendant of unconventional love, but that I was a descendant of all love. My father's love, while central, was but one thread in a vast, intricate tapestry of human connection. The weavers were not just protecting LGBTQ plus love, they were protecting all forms of love, all expressions of human connection that defied societal norms. They were protecting the very essence of what it meant to be human. And the ultimate twist, the one that tied everything back to the title, from family to lovers, we took the leap and it was everything, was that the leap wasn't just my father's leap of faith in their love. It was my leap of faith in myself, my leap into a world where family and lovers were not mutually exclusive but intertwined, inseparable. My father's love had given me life, and that love, in its purest, most unconventional form, was everything. It wasn't just their story, it was my story, a testament to the enduring power of love in all its forms. A love that transcended labels, defied boundaries, and ultimately redefined what it meant to be family.